Hello, this is Femi Akojeno here, John Maxwell Certified Executive Coach. There are many things people want in life and out of life that they are not ready for. I want to talk about that tonight, and I want to hope that from what I share with you, it will help you to get ready for the things that you want. I want you to know that there's a difference between wanting something and being ready for it. There are many things that people want in life. Let me give you some examples of what people want in life. Some people would like to get married. Some people would like to have children. They want children. They want to be married. Some people want to have a business. They want to start a business. Some people would like to come to America, where I am right now. Some people would like to do ministry. Some people would like to be successful in life. They would like to succeed in life. Some people would like to move on, or climb the ladder of success in their career. They would love some kind of career development. Some people would like to have more money. Some people would like to buy a house. It is a want, something that they want. But do you know, just because you want it doesn't mean you're ready for it. Just because you want it doesn't mean you're ready for it. There are people, for example, who want to move to America, but the reality is this: they are not ready to move to America. Now, if you were to ask them, hey, are you ready for America? In their mind, they'll say, yes, I'm ready. They are somehow confusing or mixing up wanting something with being ready for it. You can want something and not be ready for what you want. So now let's unpack this. And I hope that by sharing this with you, it will help you to actually get ready for what you want. Just because you want it does not mean you're ready for it. Keep that in mind. All right, let's look at some examples. For example, there are people who want to be married, but the reality is this: they have not studied marriage. They have not watched videos. They have not read books about marriage. They have not learned how to communicate with somebody who is different from you. They have not learned conflict resolution. What about if you get in an argument with your spouse? What do you do about that? They have not learned how to do that. They have not even learned about the differences between men and women. Do you know that men are different from women and how they do things are different? They have not learned about sex in marriage. They have not learned about finance, right? How to handle the finances. They have not learned about having the right attitude in marriage. Now, they want to be married. If you were to ask them, hey, you are 28, do you want to be married? They'll say, yes, I want to be married. As a matter of fact, they will say, as a matter of fact, I'm ready to be married. I'm 40 now. I'm ready to be married. But if you were to do an investigation about what they are talking about being ready to be married, you'll find out that no, they want to be married, but they are not ready to be married. What about children? Some people want to have children. Now, just because you want children, whenever you see children, oh, it makes you to be happy, does not mean you're actually ready for children. Oh, yes. Some people, they have not learned about the Gen Z. Do you know that the children, the children of today, they are the Gen Z. Now, parenting the Gen Z is different from the baby boomers and the other ones, right? It's just different. In the 21st century, how you parent is different. Now, maybe you have a mindset, the same mindset your parents and your grandparents had when they were raising you. And you're thinking, well, I'm ready for a child. And in your mind, you're thinking, well, what my grandma taught me, how my grandma raised me, that's how I'm going to raise this Gen Z. You got it twisted. You got a different thing coming for you that you're not ready for. So what I'm saying to you is this: you can want something and not be ready for it. Now, you are saying you want to be a parent, but have you learned how to discipline children in this day and age? Do you know that there's a different strategy Oh, I'm not speaking against spanking in any way, but there's a different strategy in how to even discipline children now. Do you know that the children of today are smarter? Some of them are smarter than our grandparents. Of course, our grandparents have some wisdom. Yes, give that to them. But they are smarter in some other ways. And so, how do you raise children like that? How about the emotional needs of children? Maybe you were raised in a household where they could care less about you as a human being. They say you're a child, and that's it. You don't have a say, you don't have emotions. Who cares? You just have to do what we say. Well, do you think you raise children of today that way? So now I know you want children, but the question is, are you ready to be a parent? What about some people? They would like to start their own business. They would like to start their own business so that they can make some money, fend for their family, and all that stuff. But the question is this: have you learned about accounting in business? Have you learned about budgeting for business? What about marketing? There are people who have started a business, like they literally on paper have started. In other words, they've registered a business, but they have not sold anything for the past 2 years. Now, they have registered a business, so quote unquote, they have a business, but the business is not moving. Nothing is happening. Well, what about marketing for your business? What about customer service, right? So I know you want to start a business, but do you know much about customer service? Do you know anything about the unique selling proposition? In other words, how do you differentiate your business from your competitor? How do people see you as different? How is your brand different from that of your competitor? As a matter of fact, do you even know what a brand is? Do you know how to build a brand? I know you're saying, I want to start a business, but are you actually ready to start a business? What about some people? They want to do ministry. All their heart's desire is ministry. But question, do you know anything about the Bible? I know you have a heart for God, you love God, but do you know the Bible? Have you studied any kind of theology at all? Have you taken some courses that can help you in some areas, like Bible interpretation? Do you know that there are many people out there who claim to be in ministry, and when they translate or interpret the Bible for you, it's junk they are saying, right? So that you want something does not mean you are ready for it. Do you know anything about homiletics? Do you know anything about anointing for you as a preacher or a pastor or someone who is doing ministry? Are you getting the drift here? That somebody says, I want something is not the same thing as I am ready for what I want. Please excuse this fly that is flying around, right? So that somebody says, I want something does not mean they're ready for it. What about some people say, well, I want to be real successful in life. I want to be really successful in life. Okay, well, those who are successful in life, there is a way they think. So have you learned about the thought patterns of successful people? Have you learned about the mindset of successful people? Have you learned about the attitude of successful people? Have you learned about how they all think and how they all do things? Well, guess what? You want to be successful, but are you ready to be successful? What about those who want to climb the ladder of success in their career? You want some career advancement. Well, question, do you have the right attitude that will help you to succeed in your career? Have you learned some leadership skills that will help you in your career? What about upgrading some trainings? Have you gotten some additional trainings, maybe learning some new skill set that will help you to succeed in that career? Are you getting the drift? That you want something does not mean you are ready for it. What about the rich? So you are saying, yes, I want to be a rich person. I want to be wealthy. Well, guess what? Do you know how money works? Because you can't be wealthy without knowing how money works. Do you know anything about multiple streams of income, which is actually different from multiple struggles, which is different from having multiple jobs? A stream of income is different from multiple jobs. Do you have any knowledge of that? Have you learned about investing, right? What about the difference between assets and liabilities? So even as you are investing your money in stuff or buying stuff, are you buying an asset or are you buying a liability? Have you learned about financial intelligence? Do you have any financial discipline? Do you know anything about delayed gratification? Are you getting the point here? So you say you want to be rich, you say you want to be wealthy, but are you ready for this? So I want you to understand that saying I want something is not the same thing as being prepared for it. What about those of you who want to buy a house? Here in America, you get a mortgage, right? Unless, of course, you have a lot of money to buy it outright, right? So you get a mortgage. Question: are you actually ready to have a mortgage? Do you know much about budgeting? Have you even learned some basics about maybe house repairs and all some little things in the house? Have you prepared your credit? Now, I know you want to buy a house, but is your credit ready? Right? So you see all those things that, wow, people say, well, I want this, I want this, I want this. There are many things we want, but we are not ready for it. Are you hearing me? There are many things we want in life, but we are not ready for it. So what do I do? What should you do? Well, let me share a few points with you. You see, understand, first of all, that just because I want something does not mean I'm ready for it. So if we get that clearly, now let's take some steps. Number one, know what you want. Be clear on what you want. I want to be married. I want to have children. I want to do ministry. I want to succeed in life. I want to climb the ladder of success in my career. I want to buy a house, right? Know what you want. Now, after you know what you want, don't go after what you want unless you prepare yourself for what you want. So are you hearing me? So I know you say you want to be married. Okay. We know what you want. Now, what the typical person does is they will go and talk to a lady and say, hey, I want to marry you. I'm ready to get married. I'm 40 and I'm ready to be married. So marry me. Now, if she's ignorant like you, she will marry you. I love you. You love me. Let's get married. If both of you are ignorant, you'll marry each other. Some of you in some part of the world are saying, what do you mean? They're 40 years old. They're ready. No, they're not ready. Age is not what gets you ready for marriage. Age is not what gets you ready for marriage. Preparation gets you ready for marriage. You actually have to get ready for marriage, not because you are 40 years old, not because you are 50 years old. It doesn't mean you are ready, right? So anytime you want something, the first step is not to go after that thing. The first step is to get yourself ready for what you want. Are you hearing something tonight? The first step is you get yourself ready for what you want. So I want something. Then the next step is, now let me equip myself. So, number two, get information, get materials, get resources, get books, get videos, anything you can lay your hands on that will teach you about success in that thing, that will teach you everything you need to know about that thing. So, for example, you're listening to me, you are 35. A 35-year-old woman, and you're saying, I want to be married. Wonderful desire. But before you even attempt it, do this first. Get all the information you can find about marriage, about how a man is different from a woman, about a woman's needs versus a man's needs, about communication, about sex, about finances, about all those various things that will play a role in your marriage. Learn everything. Remember this, age doesn't mean you are ready. It's knowledge. Knowledge is power here. Knowledge is key here. So learn everything that you need to learn so that when you now go for it, you'll be successful at it. This is the reason why many people have failed in many areas in life. They want something and they go after it without equipping themselves first for it. So you want to do ministry, but you didn't take some courses. Maybe in some cases, maybe even go to a Bible school. You didn't do all of that. You just say, well, I have a burning desire. I have a passion. Or you may even say, I have a call. God has called me. After God calls you, you still must get ready. You still must get equipped for what you're about to do. Right? So it's important that you get the necessary materials, books, videos, and everything you can lay your hands on to prepare you for this thing that you want. So then in getting all this information right, it will help you to know what you need. For example, the first time I thought of buying a house, I called a realtor that I knew at that time and I said, hey, I want to buy a house. And she told me all the things I need. So I realized that, wow, I am not ready to buy a house. One of the things she told me in those days was that I needed $25,000. And at that time, all I had was $1,000. So for goodness sake, how am I ready to buy a house? Now, I want to buy a house, but I'm not ready for it. So now that I have a list of what I need, then I can now begin to work on that list. Are you hearing me? So anything that you want to first of all define what you want. Secondly, begin to get all the information to equip yourself, to get yourself ready in succeeding at this thing, in being able to get this thing, including finding out what are the things you need for this thing. Now, after you know what you need, you now know you have work to do. You have work to do. Now, some of you, for example, who want to be married, you don't know how to be submissive, right? Then you realize, oh man, submission. Okay, I have work to do. Maybe you're a man, you don't have the concept of providing for your family. Oh man, I have work to do. I have to now work on positioning myself to be able to provide for my family. You see, so when you find out all the information, it helps you to know the things that you need to have in your life, the things that you need to do so that you can succeed in this area. Now, after you've done all that, the next thing, number 3, is, and by the way, you can do all these things together simultaneously, right? I'm just giving you some steps. Number 3, study those who have succeeded and even those who have failed in that area that you want, in that thing that you want. So if, for example, you want to have a lot of money, you want to be wealthy, study those who are wealthy. Study those who have failed too financially. Study both of them. Find out what they did wrong that made them to fail, and find out what they did right, that make them to succeed. Now, in studying these people, going to some of their seminars, because some of them have seminars they do to teach you these things, right? So make use of their seminars, right? Make use of their seminars so that you're able to learn from them. Now, some of them will allow you to ask them questions. They have a Q&A session. Ask questions. Ask questions from those who have succeeded. Now, can I tell you something? When you're asking questions, don't ask those who have never done it. You know, there are some people, right? They have never done anything, but they seem to know, they seem to pretend to know so much about the thing they have never done. They've never succeeded in it, but they claim it like they know it. Be careful of people like that. It could be a family member claiming, oh, I know about business. But how come you've never started your own business? But you want to tell everybody else who is succeeding or trying to succeed in business what they should do. Be very careful about people like that, right? So get information from those who have succeeded, right? Ask them questions. Get mentors. That's part of number 3 here. Get mentors. Let them mentor you. They've been down that road. They know what they're doing. They've done it before. Let them guide you in the process. Number 4, write out 2 action plans. Write out 2 action plans. Now, why did I see 2 action plans? Now, there's a reason for that. Number 1, in succeeding in anything, it starts with you as a person. So the first action plan is to write out what you need to change about you that will help you to succeed in whatever you want. So if you want to be married, are there things you need to change about yourself that will help you to succeed in marriage? If you want to have children, are there things that you need to change about yourself that will help you to succeed in parenting? If you want to start a business, are there things you need to change about yourself that will help you to succeed in business? You get the drift. So find out what are the things about you that, wow, I need to change this about myself. I need to change that about myself, right? So write out an action plan on how to change, because we don't by default change. By default, we are stuck in our bad ways, in our comfort zone, in our old ways. So by planning, by writing out an action plan for you, then you're able to change you. You are saying, you know what, I have to change my attitude. I have to change how I act in this area, what I do about myself in that area. You see, you are changing you. So action plan number 1 is for you. Then action plan number 2 is for that thing that you want to now do. right? So let's say you want to do ministry. So now you've worked on yourself, you've done all these other things that I said, then you want to now write out an action plan. How are we going to execute this? How are we going to get this thing done, right? You want to start a business. Okay, you've worked on yourself, you have changed some things about yourself, right? Maybe you are not good with people, you don't talk to people right. How can you be a good customer service person when you don't even know how to be respectful and all that stuff? So you realize that about yourself, that wow, I have to change how I interact with people, how I communicate with people. I have to be cordial, I have to be polite and all that stuff. You've worked on yourself, but then also you are writing out an action plan for your own business. How am I going to do this? What steps should I take? And all that stuff, right? So write out 2 types of action plans, one for yourself and one for what you want or what you are trying to do. And after you've done that, then you can go for it. Then you can actually now go for it. Now, so you have learned something today, that even though you want something, it doesn't necessarily mean that you are ready for what you want. So before you jump out and start doing this thing and start approaching this thing, take a step backwards and say, okay, let's do this first. So that now when I go for it, I have a greater chance in succeeding at this thing that I'm about to do, right? So when you go for it, you may fail along the way. Don't let that discourage you. Now, in the beginning, make sure you plan all these things, because the more you plan for this, the less likely you are going to fail. At least you fail less than somebody who didn't have any plan, who have not done nothing at all to prepare for what they want. So go for it. If you fail along the way, learn from your mistake, right? Don't keep doing the same thing the same way all the time. Learn from the mistakes that you have made, right? So that you know what to tweak, what to change about yourself or about your plans and all that stuff, so that you can succeed in what you're doing. Go for it. If you fail the first time, try it again. If you fail the second time, try it again. Learn from your failures and go for it. But that you want something does not mean you just rush and go for it. Prepare yourself, get yourself ready for it, and then you'll be able to succeed at it. Many people in life, the reason why they are failed in many things is that they want it and they go for it without getting themselves ready for it. You need to get yourself ready for everything that you want. And if you prepare yourself, you have a greater chance in succeeding at it. I hope that this has been helpful to you. Make sure that you share what you have just heard with others. If you're watching me on Facebook, share this right now. Please like and comment. I want to know what you think about what you have just heard. And if you're watching me on YouTube, please go ahead and subscribe to this channel. Also click on the notification bell so that you'll be notified anytime I have a video out there. And also, of course, comment and like and share with others as well. I'm very much interested in hearing your opinion on what I have just shared. If this has helped you in any way, let me know how it has helped you. Don't forget also to check out my website, and that is www.femiakojenu.com. I have a variety of things that I do, and you can find them all on that website. If you need one-on-one coaching for yourself, if you need corporate coaching for your business, for your team members and all that stuff, make sure to check out the website and send me a message so that we can coordinate helping you out in whichever way you may need help. I coach in the area of marketing, in the area of business, in the area of team building, in ministry, and personal development, and many other areas. Also, click on See Me Live on the website so that you can know which seminar I have coming up and you can take advantage of them. I hope again that this has been a blessing and that you have learned a thing or two from this. Don't forget to share with other people. Thank you very much for watching this video.